Atomize and dichotomize who he was in the beginning, what he was in the beginning. You know, a criminal this, criminal that, but when I first saw Huey throwing down against these police in Oakland, California, I said, that's a stud I'd like to be hanging out with right there, because that boy down. And Huey was down. I mean, Huey up against the police was just throwing. Sometimes we have his gun pointed out. Huey P. Newton was a serious brother. He was serious about the black community at that time. So I don't care what people say about him in the end, I'm always going to know him for what he did in the beginning. This is dedicated to Huey P. Newton. Huey, your death is not a surprise. Your death was not a surprise. It was made very clear. They wanted you to die like that. They wanted you to die like that. Couldn't you read the signs? No more fair ones. No more hand-to-hand combat. No more settling disputes with the quickness and cleverness of our words. Who, where, what, when, why? 2x4s in the hands of callous anger and glorified pain. The music has become the beginning of the end. It has become coarse. It has become hard. Community swept up in the bloodletting and wrath of fortune and fame. Terror and death lying dormant in the faces of overwhelming stress, overwhelming disease, overwhelming victim worship. Remember our time, Huey? Back in the day, the communities we lived in. We were not middle class, but we were working with class. We were not technically advanced, but we were advancing. Remember the stick horses with the beer cans for horseshoes? Clompity clomp, clompity clomp, clompity clomp. Throughout the neighborhood, throughout the city, throughout our dreams, we could be sheriffs. We could be desperados. We could be men in white hats, men in black hats. And when all the games and fantasies were over, we realized we just could be ourselves. Yeah, we had gangs of fun, gangs of imagination, gangs of courage and daring, gangs of reaching out and sharing with one another. Remember the homemade go-karts? Somebody had to push, somebody had to drive. Back then, we knew how to take turns. Back then, we knew how to work with each other. It didn't matter who was pushing or driving. The only thing that mattered then was that we kept moving forward together. Remember the cardboard houses we used to build for all the girls to come in and play mommy and daddy with us, to introduce us to their feminine wiles. We did not know any Hollywood starlets, no Marilyn Monroes, no Lana Turners, no Marilyn Monroes. Our minds, our whole beings were intensely focused on the magnetic presence, the effervescent smiles, the divine and magnificent physical structures of the Patricia Hunts, the Jeannie Collins, the Trudy Browns, the Brenda and Debbie Sullivans, the Alice Nelsons, the Gail Arnolds, the Ernie Murphys, the Sandra Thompsons, and the Millender sisters, Lord have mercy, and the Mary Campbells, and the Diane Frasers, and the Lucinda Mendozas, and the Jackie Garnetts. They were our inspiration. They were our songs for the future. They made us want to dance on the edge of wire fences, on the edge of the canal, on the edge of our souls, on the edge of forever. We had fathers back in our homes then. Remember them chasing white men who came looking for some of that glow black stuff out of the communities? These are our wives, these are our daughters, these are our mothers. Get out of here now. Bricks, battles, bottles, and tire irons became heat-seeking missiles on the tail of the intruder who was invading sacred airspace. These were our fathers. These were our fathers. They may not have been perfect. They may not have been all that loving and accessible, but they were there. And they were there to try to protect us as much as possible. They were there to discipline us and to remind us of our place as children. And they were there to show us how to be considerate and respectful of human life. That's what made you throw down against those police in Oakland, California. And that's what made me stand in the face of the Ohio National Guard and taunt and provoke and harass and dare them to deny me the right to protect my community, to cherish my community, to affirm my community. To affirm my community. And that's why you became a Black Panther, and that's why I became a Last Ford, because we loved our communities, Huey. We understood their weaknesses and their strengths. We understood their possibilities and their limitations. We knew their beauty and their ugliness, and we were tired of seeing them get beat up, beat down, humiliated, oppressed, and abused. They will never be able to dirty or sully your name with me, partner. They will never be able to distort or derange your character in my presence. You had your demons, Huey. You had your demons, Huey. We all did. That was part of the struggle. But nobody can deny how you made a whole lot of men stand up and face down those demons, theirs and ours. And so, from the innermost recesses of my heart, I thank you, comrade. I thank you, soldier. I thank you, warrior. I thank you, brother. I thank you, son. I thank you, baby boy. I thank you, Crimey. And from all of us, from the old community, we thank you, neighbor.